Yeah, and a very good D1 opponent, of course, Illinois State, out of the Missouri Valley Conference. I think they advanced to the championship game last year before falling to, I want to say, Northern Iowa or Wichita State, one of the two, obviously, two powers from the mid-major conference. So Illinois State, a tough test, and that one will count in the win or loss column for the Hawks.
As we mentioned before the break, Devontae Crockrow comes in along with the first appearance of Ryan Daugherty. Harden kicks out to foul zone. Tries to get it back to Parton. Parton trying to use his power. And they call him for the traveling. And Quincy gets the rock. As you take a look at the replay here, Adam, he got caught up with Crockroll and just took a little back step and didn't dribble. By the rules of the game, that is indeed a travel.
Yeah, I think he was trying to feel out where Crockroll was on his back, and he thought he'd be there. He wasn't, so he kind of did the old pull the chair out from underneath him, if you will, and caused the traveling. But Parton, a very interesting player. You know, he had some other offers, Dayton, Pitt, Xavier, to name a few. Didn't actually start playing basketball until he was in junior high school in 7th grade, and then ended up being second-team All-State in Ohio last year. So he's a different kind of 6'8 player than the ones we talked about earlier. He's not a swing guy. He's a traditional power forward, good, powerful base, wide hips. So it'll be interesting to see how he's used, not only this year, but in years to come.
And a guy who's at 6'8", you might think that he fits into more of a 4 role in a traditional power forward type than as a 5. Maybe if the Wildcats go small, if they decide to go with a 2, maybe 3-guard lineup, that he plays as a center. As a timeout is called, we'll keep it here. But there's a lot of options for Chris Collins. There's a lot of guys on this roster that can play a significant amount of minutes, as opposed to in the past where they're rolling only about 7, maybe 8 deep at times. But now it's just a matter of figuring out what types of combinations do you want to use. And the great thing about the non-conference is that's an opportunity for you to figure out what it is you're going to do in terms of your main lineup combinations. I thought it was a very interesting opening lineup, having Sanjay Lumpkin and Nathan Taphorn in the starting lineup as the 3 and the 4. And really those are interchangeable. Taphorn a little bit more height, but Lumpkin a little bit more girth. He fits better in as a 4 than he does as a 3.
Yeah, and it's just finding that balance. As you said, it's Coach Collins' 3rd season. He's got some of his guys, some of his recruits that he can work into the system he wants to play and build from here at Northwestern. Interestingly, I was looking at Parton, and he was offered by Pitt. And you know, it came to me, he's kind of a DeJuan Blair clone. He's got, you know, a big frame. Looks like he'll be able to put on some pounds and really be that guy that you know, undersized power forward, but can really play with his back to the basket if he hones in and gets a little stronger.
Up on the video board, they're showing a happy 60th birthday graphic to Brian James, Northwestern's assistant coach. He was Chris Collins' high school coach at Glenbrook North. Another travel on Derek Parton. The first one was more incidental. Right there, he tried to go off of his pivot foot, and he got off of that right pivot foot just a touch, but that's enough to call a violation.
Little nerves being shown by the freshman, obviously getting in there in the last few minutes of the contest. 2 traveling calls, but probably have some butterflies in the stomach playing here at Welsh Ryan for the first time.
Crockrow, another bank shot for the Quincy Hawks. That's about the 4th bank shot, 3-pointer or 2-pointer, that they have hit high off the box. Parton looked to slam that one home, but had it whipped away by Crockroll. Ash triggers the inbound foul zone. Can he hit another 3? Yes, he does. The freshman feeling it from long range.
Yeah, he's a guy that, you know, I know it's an exhibition, but wow, if he's not in the starting lineup, or at least the 6th man off the bench, I'd be very surprised. You have that type of accuracy and that type of versatility as a shooter. As you said, he likes playing outside. He's got the frame to play inside, but really cash money from beyond the arc, and that's something this team will desperately need. We'll have a rolling substitution getting the walk-on into the game.
Charlie Hall, the freshman from Los Angeles, 6'5" guy, as he comes in for his first appearance. Of course, his mom, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, star is Elaine on Seinfeld, one of my absolute favorite shows of all time. But Hall getting some action here in the closing minute. Ash will try the three, a little long. Picked up by Trevor Menny. Menny in transition, another big shot from Quincy. I'm sure Marty Bell's happy that the Hawks are hitting these shots, but maybe in next practice he says, go for the rim, guys, go for the rim. And leave the backboard for down low.
3 or 4 from beyond the arc, not even in close, as here's another steal for Quincy.
Elmelic Martin Jr. in transition, he's fouled, and he will head to the stripe.
I would be willing to bet if Northwestern has 4 banked three-pointers against them all season. After tonight, it'd be surprising to me from beyond the arc to bank that. You never see that unless it's end of the half or an inadvertent shot from the wing.
No last year numbers on Martin. He's a freshman from Lake Orion, Michigan. That's a great name for a town. Whenever I think of Orion, I always think of the constellation of the stars. You cannot think of Orion without Cassiopeia the Queen, that constellation, the Big Dipper, the Little Dipper. But Northwestern, they're the ones seeing stars tonight, as they're about to close out a 26-point victory over the Quincy Hawks. That'll do it. Northwestern, in exhibition play, knocks off Quincy 80-64. A 16-point victory for the Wildcats. And a good first showing from Chris Collins' squad in the opening of Season 3 of his coaching tenure.
Yeah, and a good first showing by 2 newcomers. Joey Van Zegeren transferring from Virginia Tech, coming in, 8 points, 10 rebounds in a 15-minute performance.